Another day, another Optus outage. This time, over 14,000 customers in Victoria's southeast were left in the dark, unable to make calls, use mobile data, or, most terrifyingly, access emergency services. The incident immediately sparked alarm, with Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen calling the reports deeply concerning and demanding an urgent briefing. So, what happened this time? Was it another catastrophic system failure like the one that brought the nation to a standstill in 2023? Well, no. Optus confirmed that services were fully restored by Wednesday morning, and the cause was something far more low-tech but equally disruptive: thieves. According to an Optus spokeswoman, criminals trying to steal copper cut through a fiber cable at a Telstra pit on the Mornington Peninsula. She explained this was a senseless act of vandalism, as the thieves often cut indiscriminately, not even knowing where the valuable copper is located, causing massive collateral damage to vital communication infrastructure. This single act of theft knocked out 6 mobile sites across the Mornington Peninsula and Frankston, with some customers as far away as Berwick also reporting problems. Thankfully, Optus stated they weren't aware of any failed emergency calls during this outage. They explained that in such situations, calls are automatically routed to other carriers' networks, like Telstra or Vodafone. This is a crucial safety feature, but it hasn't stopped the wave of criticism crashing down on the telco giant. This incident couldn't have come at a worse time for Optus. The company is already facing an ongoing Senate inquiry into a 000 outage from September that has been tragically linked to the deaths of 2 people who couldn't get through to emergency services. The timing of this latest failure has poured fuel on an already raging fire of public and political anger. Green Senator Sarah Hanson-Young, who is chairing that very inquiry, didn't hold back. She declared that Optus has failed the Australian people yet again and is clearly not capable of providing this essential service safely. She called for an urgent review of Optus's operating license, arguing that big telcos are putting profits ahead of their fundamental obligation to deliver the 000 service reliably. Hanson-Young also took a shot at the communications regulator, ACMA, saying they are asleep at the wheel and can't be trusted to investigate properly. The opposition's shadow communications minister, Melissa McIntosh, echoed these sentiments, saying the news of another outage was sending chills up Australian spines. She renewed her call for a full, independent inquiry into the entire 000 system, not just one handled by the regulator. McIntosh found it unacceptable that 000 calls were impacted again, stating that regardless of the cause, whether it is a system failure or vandalism, Optus has a non-negotiable obligation to provide emergency services to Australians anywhere at any time. She also criticized the government for not implementing all the recommendations from the Bean Review, which was conducted after Optus's massive 2023 nationwide outage. A key recommendation from that review was to mandate that customers be automatically transferred to other carriers for emergency calls when their primary network fails. Hanson-Young specifically called on the communications minister, Annika Wells, to implement this immediately, arguing that the privatization of this essential service has failed and that families are still grieving because of what she termed Optus negligence. A federal government spokesperson responded cautiously, noting that early indications pointed to vandalism and that officials were closely monitoring the situation. But this brings us to a much bigger, growing problem: copper theft. It's not just a nuisance. It's a direct threat to our critical national infrastructure. This isn't an isolated incident. Across Australia, organized crime syndicates are targeting telecommunications pits to steal copper, which has a high scrap metal value. Just last year, Victoria Police busted a syndicate responsible for over 50 large-scale copper thefts in Melbourne's north, worth more than $780,000. In South Australia, reported scrap metal thefts have jumped by over 39% in just 4 years, forcing the state government to introduce new laws to crack down on dodgy scrap metal dealers. The Optus spokeswoman highlighted that securing this infrastructure requires an industry-wide response. It's a significant safety issue that needs to be tackled collectively by the entire sector, with stronger penalties and better legislation to deter these criminals. So, where does this leave us? We have a telco under immense pressure, politicians calling for heads to roll, and a broader crime problem that's crippling essential services. While the immediate cause was theft, the incident has reopened deep wounds and exposed lingering questions about the resilience of our communications network and the accountability of the companies that run it. Are the current regulations strong enough? Is the government doing enough to protect both the physical infrastructure and the public's access to life-saving services? This latest outage serves as another stark reminder that our connectivity is fragile, and that a single cut cable, whether by accident or malice, can have far-reaching and potentially devastating consequences. The pressure is now squarely on Optus, the government, and the entire industry to prove they can keep Australians safe and connected. What do you think? Is it fair to blame Optus for an act of criminal vandalism, or does the buck ultimately stop with them to ensure their network is secure? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this informative, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matter. Stay safe.